morning. Lovely to be with you. I'm really touched by all of you. It's really beautiful to be here in this gathering and togetherness. So before I really launch into the talk, the call them what you will, ancestors is the word I'm going to use, have really been prominent since last evening here in this consciousness. And I feel and sense and am being asked really to give that a little bit of attention, almost like a homage. So each person would do that in their own way. We could just take even just a minute. You know, I don't know how you think of ancestors. There's different perspectives. On the horizontal axis of life, I think of ancestors as out ahead in the caravan, you know? But I know a lot of people think of it as behind, but for me, you know, they're out ahead on this caravan of time. In the vertical, they're right here, right now, always, as is everything past, present, and future, arising right now, all together as one existence in the holy instant. So, as you all know and have discovered, it's paradoxical that way. The more awareness opens, everything just becomes both and it's easy to think of it and feel it and sense it in many different ways, and all are real and true. There is a little bit of a message. The language is not Spanish, of course, and it's very round and soft. So I'm having to, you know, peaceful ones, beautiful seers of beauty, we welcome you. We are here with you. We see you. Together, we bring solace. We bring solace and peace to the heart of the mother. So just in your own way, you don't have to have some kind of big, special spiritual experience, just a simple, I love you, I thank you, whatever. Okay. Just a little bit more with that. There are traditions around the world, one of them being in the desert southwest of North America with the Diné, and the traditional native first people in Australia. And I'm sensing these relations as well, who they don't just walk on the earth, they emerge from her. They walk in the earth. And maybe in our guided meditation in a little bit, we can join them. We're being invited. Okay, so bear with me. Might be a bit of a rambler. I thought I'd read something first and see if it kind of like, whew, okay. You know, there's so many facets. It's like, which facet? Which facet to land on? This, I might read the whole thing in its entirety. I might read something and then sort of extemporaneously get going here. But I'm hoping it'll evoke. You know, we do our best, right? We do our best. We do our best to language the great mystery, which is beyond language, ineffable, unknowable, indescribable. But we are the languagers. So it's always a paradox, you know, especially because we heap a lot of connotations on words, and pretty soon we don't know what we're saying. We do not know what we're saying. Oh, the ground of being. Been there, done that. Really? Well, okay. You know, existence. Yeah, that's existence. All existence is one thing and it exists. Well, it's especially as we coalesce as a spiritual group, we really get a lingo going, you know? So I like to mix it up sometimes and try different words, and also just spend some time contemplating what is actually being lived here. What's the actual experience? This came forward, I don't know, some years ago, but it has staying power, I guess I might say, for me. Like, it still is maybe as close as I can get. What if? What if in this experience of 8 billion mind worlds made up of rigid compensations, comparisons, defenses, referencing, dividing, worlds made up of shoulds and shouldn'ts, worlds fed by a vision of lack and separation, worlds continuously and endlessly propping themselves up with more and more and more beliefs. What if, in this moment, this holy instant, now, underneath these mind world expressions, something began to ask, what is always, unchangeably here? What am I really? What am I really underneath the thoughts and beliefs, even if they're spiritual? What is here? What is never coming or going, never created, but simply, obviously, wholly is? What if some of the threads in the great tapestry began to explore the conscious lighting of attention, using our attention, guiding our attention, encouraging and inviting our attention on remembering, recognizing the tapestry itself, directly experiencing themselves, the threads themselves, as unique expressions within a vast, unknowable, unified wholeness, rather than believing in the mind that their identity exists solely as a defensible, limited, and separate territory. Awake to themselves as themselves, awake to the one as the one, and here's the kicker. What if the whole tapestry woke up to itself as and within the heart of an individual thread? You hear the difference? Both are big shifts. Both are big shifts, but we're ready for as. What if the whole tapestry itself woke up to itself as and within the heart of an individual thread? Not as a one-time exciting experience that has come and gone, but I had it at retreat. I had it on that medicine journey. I had it when I was making love. I had it. Not as a one-time exciting experience that has come and gone, but as a living expression of ever-isness and shining creativity. Unique, indivisible, inextricable, awake threads weaving, 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 as love without cause, peace without cause, joy without cause, liberation without cause. Rather than from endless, it's literally endless, right? Cycles of division, deservedness, undeservedness, righteousness, wrongness, attainment, loss, war, peace. Moving from and as the peace that passeth all understanding. What if? This is an invitation to stop. Just for one moment, one holy instant, and recognize that which is always here, remaining, abiding, not in denial of circumstances. Heavens no, not in denial of circumstances, but regardless of them and amidst and amongst them. And from that recognition, action, choice are freed as possibility and potential. A conscious reflection, an instrument of the unchanging ground of being, the essential ground of uncaused love from which all phenomena, you, me, everything flows. What if? What if? You know, it's that if you knock, you will be received. We will be received. We will be met. I don't know which tradition it comes out of. You know, for a while, you're seeking God. You get a certain ways down the path, and you are now in the tractor beam of God, and God comes for you, you know? Because it's all fun and games in the seeking, right? It's all fun and games. And it can just go on endlessly if we want it to. the seeker until the seeker, drops out. The seeker drops out of experience. I've been, for the last couple of years, attempting to language, something that I was calling responsive immediacy, which felt too, I don't know, clinical or something for a lot of people, but really described it for me. Immediacy especially. Oh, is it intuition? Is it instinct? No, it's beyond that. It's the living, vibrating edge of potential. It's the crest of the wave. But here's some more words that I think are, getting sort of tossed around that are essentially losing their meaning, but are truly the pointers. The word now. Eckhart Tolle wrote that beautiful book, The Power of Now, and it really sort of spurred that whole movement. I mean, all of this comes from our ancestors, but in our Western mind, the power of now. But that's the actuality. The Kenpo, Lobsang, when I met with him, I asked him about power and the power of now. And he said, empty mind plus compassion is power. And it points to the same thing. The same thing. Empty of what? Empty of me. Empty of me. That doesn't thread the needle. It doesn't thread the needle. Dr. Hawkins used to say the way is straight and narrow. And we think of this vast, but here's this other paradox, right? It's straight and narrow. I am here and only ever here. Here I am. And in that vacuum, really, the empty center, it's fulfilled. It's fulfilled because God itself is fulfillment. It's fulfillment. So nothing is off the table, right? If anger is arising, it's not permission to go out and be really angry against other humans. Itself sees itself. It's like reality, actuality, God, the great mystery, itself, whatever. That from which I come, sees itself, wakes up as itself in everything. So, I mean, this is kind of maybe a funny little example that might not work, but say, it cuts off its finger while cooking in the kitchen. Well, its first instinct is this. Its first response, immediacy, the immediacy, compassion. In the human mind body, we are emptying. I had a teacher who was very much part of the hollow reed tradition, a shaman tradition in the hills between Burma and Thailand, Mama Lek Chaya, who has since passed on, but was truly an empty channel healer. Like walk in the door in a wheelchair, leave walking just fine. She had no agenda. She had no medicine. She just was a hollow reed. And sometimes her methods were outrageous. I mean, literally outrageous. And if she saw what the responsive immediacy was moving towards. I mean, just to put this real, anecdotes are fun. So I'm coming from a nursing background and, a Western massage therapy background. And, I'm on the mat and I'm working on somebody who has had intermittent paralysis for a while, and a man. And Mama Lek is telling me to strum the nerve way up in the perineum, kind of like way up in the perineum, and I'm like, I don't think we do that. I don't think, and she literally was like, for the medicine, I mean, it was nothing to her. What I'm saying is it might look like very polite responsiveness, and it might not. So, which brings me back to, it's not a license to harm, but it is an invitation to be as is. But the key is empty mind plus compassion is power. Right here, right now, free of identification, free of me, free the me. What if? Because we are the instruments of transmutation, alchemical transmutation, the heart of the mother. Transmutation, alchemical transmutative instruments, empty plus compassion. So let's say, real just on the ground sort of example. In small groups, it was brought up a couple of times, somebody put it, a howling rage. The howling rage of these times. Well, we can't keep sitting on it, suppressing it, pretending, repressing, and being very, very good and spiritual and polite people. It's a howling rage. Eons. Neither do we have the agenda of war and continuing division and blame. So the pointer, be as is, right here, right now, is actual. Take it to the heart. Take it to the ground. But purely, without the belief, this howling rage comes from years of patriarchy, this howling rage, and this howling rage, it's mine. This howling rage is mine, and I own this howling rage, and I got the territory state because of everything that's happened to me. And, we got to give it up. We got to give it up. And be howling rage for one holy instant. And the miracle of this alchemical transmutation instrument is that it transmutes of its own accord through the love of creation for itself as itself. It transmutes. And you have to experience that to believe it. I'm having a hell of a time drinking this morning. A Devi understands. It sounds like a fantasy or a Pollyanna or a utopian, and it's anything but. It's anything but that. It's capacity. You know, the unraveling and actually giving away of the separate me is a very, as we've said, vulnerable, precious path, which, you know, I don't know if everyone wants to be on, and I don't know that everyone has to be. I don't know. You know, Adya's clarify your aspiration is a good thing to do, because once you step onto this direct path and make the decision to move beyond the separate me, Adya tells a story about being on some like bench or something in Baker, California, out in the middle of nowhere, and just saying, okay, anything it takes, anything. Bring it, I want it. And that prayer will be met. That doesn't mean we have to be scared or it'll have to be dangerous. I mean, it could be. I don't know. You know, my story's not one some people want to hear. But it can happen lots and lots and lots of ways. I mean, somebody said within the course of this gathering, you know, it was so subtle that they really didn't even notice it until in kind of retrospect. So, you know, Sharon always told me I'm a big experiencer. Some of us are. It's okay. But the prayer will be met. The aspiration will be met. And you know, it can kind of start sounding, and sometimes when I'm hearing myself talking, actually, like a crusade or something, I'm like, well, you know, but there is some quickening. It's like labor pains, you know, they can't really be denied. When it's time to push, it just actually is time to push. It's sort of undeniable that way, and it does have an urgency to it at this moment that I don't think I'm the only one feeling. So it's not that we are going to go be the chosen ones who save the world, but we are being grown into a capacity to see deeper and deeper and deeper levels of truth and into the great mystery. Because everything already is here. We're not creating it. It's here. It's removing the veils. It's removing the veils in order to live it, be it. Because remember, it's not outside, it is. We are that. We can only be what we are. Be it. Live it. And sometimes the shedding of those veils is really uncomfortable, even scary. But you know, scary is okay, right? Some of us have raised children, you know, sometimes they're scared. It's not like that's you know, fear seems to get the same kind of bad rap as the ego. You know, it's like the thing we're against and that love is in opposition to. Love and fear. I don't get that one. I don't get that. You know, everything serves. You get to see that. You eventually get to see that everything serves. That's not to say we want to spend our lives in fear, but it's not and a terrible thing to be scared, and we don't have to make up a story about it that, oh, I must not be loving or in love or as love because I'm scared. I'm in fear. I hear that so much. It'd be like saying, I say to my granddaughter, it's okay to be scared, say, but you can do it. Shuli gave me a bag for my birthday that has a big saying on it that says, beautiful girl, you can be brave, or something like that. You know, we're not alone. It is uncomfortable to shed the layers, and we can have a big blast open. We think we've made it. We're good to go. Yeah, I got both of the big shifts dialed in, and I'm moving around and all no self for days and all the stuff. And then the cosmic corkscrew goes, see it from down here. See it from down here, sweetheart. Down in the root of the identity, the root of, like Dr. Hawkins used to say, eventually you actually surrender life itself. Yeah. But what if? What if? I mean, just in these few days, with all of us putting our intention and attention there, do you feel it? Do you feel what's happening? Can you see it when you look at the people? They're getting so beautiful, right? Well, the veils are dropping and beauty is there. Ineffable beauty of existence. The ineffable beauty of existence. Oh, I wish I had the ability to read something right now from, I might butcher his name, Rabindranath Tagore. He has a really beautiful, maybe I'll try and bring it tonight, about when the layers of identification are actually given way, just given away. It's the intimacy with the 10,000 things. It's love incarnate. It's the fulfillment of original divinity becoming conscious. And God made the world, and God said, it is good. Original. That's, for me, that's the actual meaning of the virgin birth. It's unchanged, unborn, unstained, it's original, it's divine. We are. Creation is. We can, I can scan through that Apple News thing and just go, whoa, it's getting real weird. It's getting weirder by the second as everything flushes up. Maybe even in your morning, this morning, something may have flushed up. And it's like, why am I angry? Why am I this? Why am I that? Well, what a perfect moment and privilege it is to be on retreat where you can just sit right down with it as it is and not even make up another story about it. but just actually experience it as it is, allowing everything to be as it is. Adya's true meditation. Allow everything to be as it is, which doesn't mean we don't care about war, famine, hatred, and all of that. That's not what it means. It's not what it means. It means when everything is allowed to be as it is and experienced purely, reality itself, awake to itself, is whole and fulfilled in that moment. I don't know if I'm saying it in a way that makes any sense, but in other words, we don't have to try for a good outcome. Because, I don't know, we might get it right, we might not. We show up as the expressions that we are. We're human beingness this time around. We're human beingness. So we have the gift of reflection. We can be aware that we're aware. You know, that gift comes with responsibility. Response, ability to respond. And it's a joy. It's a joy. It's got uncomfortable bits and pieces. We've been solidly devoted to a separate idea of me for a long, long time. But right here and right now, there are, and you know, I have been a walker between worlds and interdimensional since coming in this time. So for me, this just seems real, but I get that it can be like, now where are these people? Who are the ancestors? I get it. But some of the most powerful things cannot actually be seen with these eyes. Love, for example. Faith, all of it. I sense that it is the moment to really incorporate, if that's the right word, like Sharon's vision of the circle of the council of light in the heart space, the torus, the help, assistance, and whatever you want to call it. Angelic, I don't know, if you grow up Catholic, that can be like, ooh, I mean, there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words for existence is vast. It's vast. And there are realms of consciousness that are more awake than we are, that are right here, helping. So it is a matter of getting clear about what one wants. Clarify your aspiration. It's not about positive thinking or setting intentions necessarily. It's about getting clear. Why am I here? What is my fundamental question? What's my deepest knowing of myself? What is this? What is all this? I don't know. You will have the question inside of you. That's the perfect question. And then bringing our attention, and it is a practice. It is a practice. Because, we don't move awareness. Awareness is. Awareness provides for everything. But we can move attention and notice where it habitually hangs out. And then invite, encourage, gently, easily, hopefully not with the super ego, for the attention to rest. Rest. And it's not comfortable at first because the attention is a border collie. The attention is you follow this, follow that, do this equation, do this. It follows. So to say rest your attention is like, really? But like Shayla was saying yesterday in small group, there is something underneath that is restful, at restness. At restness. And we begin to notice it more and more and more and more and more and more. And as we do, it captures, captivates, brings home the attention. And as we empty of the division, the divided, separate, lacking, achieving, unworthy, separate self, as we turn loose of that, gently and with great thanks. Thank you, sweetheart, but I got this now. You're no longer needed. I got it. Gently. Not like, I hate the ego and I will get it out of here. As we do that, the fabric of reality, the fabric of material reality, the expression of it changes. It changes. It changes. And the reflection is one of original peace, original love, original freedom, boundless, unlimited. Beyond. So thank you. Thank you.